Namaste, and today I'm going to talk about the video that my first video that has gone viral, which is about MAA KAALI. The question that I wanted to answer after the overwhelming response is, who is MAA KAALI actually, and why are people in different countries and from different religions watching her, or coming across her in their visions and their dreams, or maybe getting guidances and messages from her. So let me begin by telling you who is MAA KAALI, and then I'd answer the second question. So the first thing, who is MAA KAALI? MAA KAALI can be understood in manifold ways. The energy behind the Big Bang, if you want to understand it in a scientific way, is MAA KAALI. The womb is dark. Now when we think about why is the masculine represented as white and the feminine represented as the dark energy, black, MAA KAALI, because when you think of the genitalia, yes, I'm talking about the sexual organs of the humans, the womb is dark. And inside darkness does creation actually occur. Inside the soil also there's darkness. Okay? And I'm not trying to contradict that, masculinity does not mean creativity. What I'm trying to talk about, it's a coming together of these two energies that brings about creation. MAA KAALI is also something like, we want to call in our spiritual awakening journey, dark night of the soul. What is dark night of the soul? Dark night of the soul is that particular phase in the spiritual journey, and it's not necessary that you will only have it once. I've had 3 of them. Dark night of the soul is a really, really dark phase when all your karma come crumbling down on you. Let's imagine the building I stay in. Okay, the society now wants to transform into a mall. Can they create a mall out of the flats that we have? Obviously not. The mall requires an altogether new kind of construction. And how will that construction happen? We'll have to deconstruct or break down the previous building or construction that was there. And that is what MAA KAALI asks you to do. To deconstruct or to get rid of the old energy. Old energy during dark night of the soul. This is exactly what happens. So you are taken into the dark phase where you are not able to take actions or manifest anything for yourself. The last dark night of the soul that I had only 2 years ago, I was really in a very, very suffocated space. The only energy that seemed visible was MAA KAALI and Kal Bhairav. Fortunately, after a few months, I got energy back enough after the despair that I was facing to come back and say thank you to these energies. So MAA KAALI is also your dark night of the soul. That darkness comes so that light can be visible to you. Until you go into the dark and clear all that is not required in the upcoming life, you will not be able to see light. You think of the tunnel. Okay, so either you walk with a lot of problems as they are there with all the previous karma. Some people tell me, some of my mentees come and tell me that, oh, I've got so much of loan and things like that. And then after chanting MAA KAALI Kavach, or after just doing 108 chants of MAA KAALI Kavach or Batuk Bhairav or Bhairav, they undergo that situation which is called dark night of the soul. Most of us are very scared of dark night of the soul because it means it's going to give you problems from all, in all sorts. It may be physical, maybe mental, it may be spiritual, it may be emotional. I was in a despair last time. I was physically most of the times on the bed. 3 to 6 months I just spent like that 2 years ago. I left my job. I was already getting a lot of coaching for my business, coaching business. I was not able to provide anything to anyone. And I was in absolute despair after reading a certain book that said God does not exist and things like that. So it was like a test of all that did not belong to my future life that I'm living right now. The happier version of me, the lighter version of me needed to be pushed away. And that is when MAA KAALI comes. Who is MAA KAALI? You can also understand MAA KAALI as your unconscious mind. The conscious, the subconscious and the unconscious. These are the 3 levels of mind that we talk about in psychology. When we go for Vipassana and EFT to a certain extent. EFT is one of the healing techniques, tapping. So these are the only two techniques that can actually go deep down into the unconscious and clear the clutter that you cannot see. Now imagine, how can you understand this? Now imagine there's someone coming to your house, okay, and you just get to know that 5 minutes before they are arriving, okay, and instead of cleaning up, now you cannot go for deep cleaning and you just want your guests to think that, oh, my house is maintained very well. Instead of deep cleaning, because you don't have the time, you just put all the garbage inside the carpet, okay. And now these people come and tell you, I'm not going to live here for, like, I'm not here for 1 hour, I'm here for at least 7 days. Now in the 7 days you're not able to clean the house properly, to deep clean the house. You know what will happen on the 7th day, or maybe even before? All the garbage that went inside the carpet, it will start stinking, okay. It'll start creating germs and other forms of things that you would not want in your house. The same thing is happening with our unconscious mind. We have lived many lifetimes. As a past life regression therapist, I can definitely tell you that we have lived so many lifetimes, and I've seen so many of my clients heal through watching their own past lives and know why are they facing what they are facing in this present lifetime. For myself, I saw that, in a certain lifetime, I'd committed suicide with, a really small baby. Small baby is my younger son in this lifetime, and that is the reason. And I jumped into water, into a well. There was so much of darkness, and even though the baby was dead quite soon, I took more than 24 hours to die. People found out much later, when I was taking my last breath. So I underwent every experience, consequently, because of which in this lifetime I could not swim before that, could not even think, even in my wildest of imagination, I could not imagine myself in water. And darkness was something I was really, really uncomfortable with. And after that, after taking the past life and going through that experience again, healing through it, darkness is not an issue in my life. And after that, I've tried swimming number of times. So past life, what is past life? And all those lifetimes that we have lived, a lot of it has already been transferred into the unconscious. You don't even know. What Vipassana does is, through the different techniques of Vipassana, because Vipassana has its three-sided, three-layered ways of reaching the unconscious mind. Most of the coaches and consultants, everyone, who are talking about healing and all, they'll tell you that they are going to activate your subconscious mind. How about the unconscious mind? That is real spirituality. And that unconscious mind, wherein you cannot see, you can't even realize what sorts of fears do you have. Human beings have existed since the ancient times. Think about a lifetime where an ancient or a primitive human must have lived, in the jungle, where there are snakes crawling, where there's a lion that can come to you anytime, and multiple things are happening. How unsafe would that situation be? All those fears are deep down there in the unconscious layer, okay. And Vipassana can reach you there, and otherwise MAA KAALI through the dark night of the soul. And if you prefer to call her yourself, if she shows up through guidances like my videos or some other videos, and you just sit with her for 10 minutes every day, you are beginning to cleanse that. People talk about affirmations, and people talk about all the surface layer changes. Say this 1,000 times. How will you change your unconscious beliefs? You don't even know why you're suffering today, because your unconscious is already believing that I'm not safe enough. So MAA KAALI is also that unconscious layer. Now coming to the question that why are people from other religions watching it? Why are people from other religions watching it? Very easy answer. You are not a Hindu or a Muslim, for heaven's sake. I got messages on my other accounts also. On LinkedIn, I've been approached. In fact, I've got multiple podcast questions, multiple podcast invitations. I've got so many people asking me questions on Facebook Messenger, on Instagram DM, on LinkedIn, and they want more understanding about why are they watching MAA KAALI. not just through my video, but they've had their personal experiences. In fact, I will put the link in this video itself. You can go and watch that video. And it's a barely 5-minute video. I've not even gone into any depths of talking about Ma Kali. I've just talked about my own experience, and I've just talked about the signs how Ma Kali appears in your life. Why does she appear in your life? Because you have lived multiple lifetimes. You must have been a Hindu in some lifetime, okay? Because Hinduism is supposedly the most ancient religion. And no, I'm not one of those who's going to say I'm a proud Sanatani. The moment you say I'm a proud Sanatani, it makes you a fake Sanatani. You know, I don't understand what is the pride in being a Sanatani. What did you do to become a Sanatani or a Christian or a Muslim, whatever? You may be grateful for any kind of knowledge or wisdom that you are getting. So no, I do not belong there. I believe God is only one. God has multiple manifestations. Different people have experienced God in different ways. We are a part of God, okay? And we are here in the human body, in the human form, experiencing life and learning our lessons. So why do people from other religions see Ma Kali? Because Ma Kali is not, we have not put any, rights on Ma Kali that only Hindus are going to watch Ma Kali. Let me share a personal experience of mine. So I did not become a past life regression therapist, for no reason. When I was doing very, very deep meditation, so I'm a twin flame, and I've experienced the depth of depression and the depth of, the moment that you think it's better to commit a suicide than to live without that person. That was the moment I reconnected my, emotions to Lord Shiva and Ma Kali. And I walked through guidances of yoga, of vipassana, of angel healing and Reiki. All these things had already occurred in my life, but at that point of time, it was reconnection with Lord Shiva, Ma Kali, that I could bounce back. And so at that point of time, in the deepest of meditations, I would see my past lives, okay, like a movie flashing by. I had no idea, what am I watching? Am I imagining it? But how am I imagining the same scene, exactly same things happening to me? Then I took a past life regression, and in the upcoming sessions I got to know that these are the things, the flashes of which I've already watched in my deepest meditations. What did I do next? I became a past life regression therapist to be able to help others. Now what I was trying to share here was that after one of the Vipassana experiences, Vipassana is a 10-day silence program. Your mobile phone is taken away from you on day 0, not day 0. 1 day before you have to be there. And 10 days, on the 10th day you can talk. For 9 days there's absolute silence. You can't even look at each other. And there are a lot of restrictions related to food also. 10 hours of meditation with some breaks happen there. And in that I started watching that lifetime in which I was a Muslim. And this lifetime was with my own twin flame. He was a Hindu in that lifetime, and I was a Muslim in that time. I was a girl and he was a boy, and we lived quite close by. And when I came out of Vipassana, what I saw the very first time my parents were driving me out of, because I was in Bodh Gaya, and I was supposed to be going back to Patna, because Patna is my house. And on my way, and I'm not even exaggerating, at least 20 to 25 times, I must have seen the number 786. And I do not mean to say 786 only like 786, the Muslims write like Om. No, even the number plate 0786, 7806 kind of number plates, the number of cars, okay. And I was not able to explain what is happening to me. And I looked just the same in that lifetime also. I had long hair. I was very slim, and the version of mine that was there in that lifetime, she died at the age of 14. And she used to wear a very beautiful nose pin. Till then, I did not have my nose piercing done. After that, I got my nose piercing done. And she had very, very long hair, very beautiful hair. And so that was not the only, discovery I made. In the upcoming sessions when I started taking my past life, sessions from, my mentor, who later became my mentor. I also saw myself as a priest, as a Christian priest. No wonder I do angel healing as well in this lifetime, and I have also created so many angel healers. So you're not a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian or a Sikh. You are just a soul coming to experience life. And your gender, your body type, your parents, your religion, your community, the place where you are going to be born are all decided by your soul to attain a certain type of lesson in that particular lifetime, also depending on the karma that you've done in the previous lifetime. I hope I've been able to explain who is MAA KAALI and why people across religions are watching her. Thank you so much for the previous video and the overwhelming response. I am deeply, I deeply feel that gratitude, and in the upcoming videos I try to share as much information for the signs that you see when you are on the healing journey, when you are on the spiritual journey. And if you like the content of the channel, consider liking the video and subscribing to the video. If you think it is good enough for someone else to also watch it and take it in, kindly share the video with others. That's it for today. Signing off, Arunima. Namaste.